Hello sirs and mans, welcome back to another video in which the final remaining rarity will be covered, the super rares. Before I start, I just like to apologize for how long it's taking to get up. Before I start analyzing the characters, I'd like to give a huge shout out to any players in any friendly matches I did. Super rares are the hardest cards to get your hands on via traditional means. They very rarely come out of chests. With 9 super rares in the game, it's unlikely you'll get which one you want. However, they also require the fewest cards to level up. Early on it's not too bad, but later levels for super rares take a very long time to chip away at. They tend to have events when they're released, but otherwise it's pretty infrequent, so you're going to have to get lucky, chip away at it via typically Star Runner missions, or you might need to just go to the stop and give Harley money. Still, even before they're high leveled, for the most part, you might be interested in using them as they are some of the best characters in the game. Starting off with their stats, super rares for the most part have very high stats. A good amount of them have a perfect 10 out of 10 in something. Shadow has 10 speed and the highest acceleration of any 10 speed character, but has bad strength. Chaos also has 10 speed for some reason, and he has the highest strength of any 10 speed character, but his acceleration is below average. Then there's Tikal, who also has 10 speed despite her horrendous running form. Her acceleration and strength though are nothing special. Zaz is the only non-special in the game with 10 acceleration, and he has high speed but mediocre strength. Zavic's 10 strength when combined with 9 acceleration makes him the tankiest character in the game, but his speed is below average despite the fact that his stat total is the highest in the game. Big has the same stats as Zavic minus 2 acceleration. Sonic's 9, 6, 7 stats are generally good, but nothing really stands out about it. The same can be said about Eggman's 9, 7, 6 stats. Finally, there's Zeena, whose 8, 9, 7 stats give her a healthy 24 total without any real glaring issues. Of these stats, in my opinion, Chaos's tend to come in handy the most often, while Tikal's tend to feel the most underwhelming. Super rare characters have a strange mix of having no unique items and having their entire kit be unique items, with some super rares even sharing attacks among each other. Starting with the boost, Big has Umbrella Boost, Tikal has Chow Chase, Shadow has Power Sneakers, Eggman has Rocket Boost, Zavic has Fire Boost, Chaos has Ice Boost, and the rest of them have Electro Boost. Umbrella Boost is relatively slow, but it's the longest lasting boost in the game aside from beating Base Boost. If you pick up just one within boost range, you can potentially pass someone with it, so it's great for finishing off a race with. Tikal's boost goes for something similar, but it's even slower, so it's not quite as likely you'll pass someone, but you do get a speed boost for hitting someone, so try to go out of your way to do that, and it can be alright, but not quite as good. Power Sneakers is a short and fast boost. It leaves you vulnerable because it doesn't have any side effects, but it can be useful in the clutch. I also think it's really nice with 9 acceleration. It seems better than the one Sonic has. Speaking of boosts that feel better with the high acceleration stat, there's Fire Boost. It's not quite as fast as Power Sneakers, but it's close, and it's the hardest hitting boost in the game. Rocket Boost is similar to Power Sneakers, being a bit slower but lasting for longer. It seemingly has a better net game, and it's honestly pretty fast for something with its duration. Even though it doesn't have a side effect, it is low-key actually a really solid boost. Ice Boost is very average. It's a bit slower and a bit longer lasting than most other boosts, but I don't really think it stands out, although freezing someone by contacting them can be pretty nice. Finally, there's Electro Boost. If you're struggling to pick up rings at the start or you just get hit at the start, this is the best boost by far to get back in the mix of things. If you already have 100 rings, it's pretty similar to Ice Boost, but it's really nice for all the characters that have it, and it's overall a good boost. Moving on to the traps, Big has Lily Trap, Tikal has Captive Light, Shadow has Storm Clouds, Eggman has Honor Guard, Chaos has Ice Mines, Chaz has Star Trail, and the rest of the characters have Explosive Mines. Lily Trap is a weird one. It's undodgeable in 2 lanes, it leaves 2 lanes free, and these lanes change at interval. It's useful for holding opponents back who might not be thinking about this while boosting, but I find it really inconsistent, and it also doesn't hit automatically, so if you're using it like a traditional trap, it might not do you good. Captive Light used to be overpowered, but now it doesn't do any damage, it's not that much better than Zap Trap. It doesn't have a useful effect, and that makes it kinda useless, even though it's very easy to hit people with. Stormcloud is a great move once you learn how to use it. Though it's easy to dodge, you can see it coming as you can just slide under it. On forced jumps, rails, or if you get someone off guard, it can have great effect, doing decent damage and removing an item. Honor Guard is another weird move. It's a trap that moves forward along the ground until it despawns or if it hits a wall, and Eggman is completely immune to it. It's easy to hit people with, but its damage is pretty low, much lower than Stormcloud's. Star Trail places some stars behind you for some time to do a decent amount of damage. They don't last long on the track, and they can't hit in front of you like other traps, but if you're right in front of someone and in a close corridor, if they're just trying to follow you around, it can cause a lot of issues for them. The last two, Ice Mine and Explosive Mine, are basic traps that freeze you for some time to do massive damage. They're not fancy, but they work, especially Explosive Mine. Are you really going to say no to the hardest hitting move in the entire game? I don't think so. To finish off our projectiles, this is where some variety comes in. No super rare shares a projectile with each other. Big has a Chopper Chomp, Tikal has Chow Guardian, Shadow has Lightning, Eggman has Valkyrie, Chaos has Ice Wave, Metal Sonic has Steel, Zavok has the Fireball, Zaz has Moto Bugs, Zeena has Blizzard Bomb. Chopper Chomps are slow and only have moderate range, but they deal massive damage, and not even walls can save you. They're really threatening when you can pick up multiple, because one Chopper Chomp on its own might not be too hard to dodge, but if you're pressured by a lot of them, you can run into one pretty easily. Chow Guardians are a bit of a mixed bag, but they're mostly good. They come out instantly, they do decent damage and have a boomerang effect, making them hard to dodge repeatedly. The only thing that really holds them back is they don't have good forward range. Lightning isn't really all that useful due to only targeting first. They mostly only exist to be annoying and maybe pressure someone into an unideal range, although I will say that of the characters with Lightning, Shadow probably gets the most usage out of them. Valkyrie simply isn't very good. Even though once you max it out, you can target everyone in the race, it's very easy to see coming and doesn't do that much damage if you actually manage to be hit by it. Ice Wave is just bonkers. It's fast, it travels far, it goes into 3 lanes at once if the character using it is at least level 6, and it freezes anyone that touches it for quite a while. You can honestly just use it indiscriminately and you'll probably hit a lot of people even still. Steel is the main reason why calling these projectiles is inaccurate. Steel steals a random item from a random opponent, excluding items in the middle slot. To keep it brief, because I could honestly talk about this for quite a while, there's a lot of strategies that enables Metal Sonic to do that no other character objectively can pull off. Zavok's fireballs work a bit differently than other fireballs. Once his fireballs are maxed out, he gets an additional upgrade that makes him guaranteed to get 2 or 3 fireballs. Fireball is already very good, and this just makes it better. Motobugs do decent electrical damage and travel reasonably fast. That being said, Zaz doesn't really appreciate them because this is only forward offense, it's not great. Finally, there's Blizzard Bomb, which is weird. It freezes for about as long as Ice Wave, but instead of dealing damage when it hits you, it deals damage when it explodes, on an obstacle or otherwise. It doesn't travel very far, it has a wonky hitbox before it explodes, but this also leads to a lot of situations where you can be hit by it and you didn't even see it coming. Now that we've gone over their individual traits, I think it's time that we begin ranking these characters. In 9th place, I put Eggman. Eggman has a good boost, but it doesn't really save him from how little damage his moves do, which make him relatively ineffective. Valkyrie is just too hard to hit, and Honor Guard does too little damage despite how easy it is to hit. It makes him over-reliant on a boost that, while good, definitely isn't good enough to carry him. In 8th place, I put Tikal. Tikal is stuck with the same issue that plagues a lot of other characters, which is a trap that doesn't do any damage. Even a current top-tier character like Vector has been shown to fail if a trap doesn't do any damage, but Tikal almost works. Her boost is sometimes decent enough, and Chow Guardians being good in specific situations does save her from being terrible, but other characters don't have to worry about being so situational to be potential threats. In 7th place, I put Zaz. Zaz, even at his best, I thought was pretty overrated, but due to the recent nerf to Star Trail, which makes him spawn fewer stars and have those stars stay on the track for a much shorter time, he's much less effective in the lead, on top of being one of the worst characters from behind. He's still good in the lead role if he has a modest lead, as he has the stats and the boost to take an early lead, and Star Trail still isn't the easiest thing to dodge, but his limitations compared to other supers make him harder to recommend. In 6th place, I put Shadow. Shadow's in a bit of a weird spot where he's probably the worst character with Stormclaw, but he can get by on those alone in part due to his high speed and a fast boost. Even Lightning isn't too bad on him since it can pressure people into those Stormclaws. He's a little bit over-reliant on them, which makes him a bit track-dependent and kind of bad if too far behind, but he can be very good when used properly. In 5th place, I put Big. Big is a bit slow and has a somewhat unreliable trap and Lily Trap, Chopper Chomp and especially Umbrella Boost let him win a lot of races that you don't think he has any right to win. Chopper Chomps can cause a great deal of pressure in high volume and they do a lot of damage, but even if you miss them, Umbrella Boost lasts long enough where you can consistently pass someone in the fringe of boost range, making him very good from close behind behind. In 4th place, I put Zavik. Zavik might be the most underrated character in the game. Although he's slow and fire boost is not great, it's hard to say no to the combination of his very high stats, explosive mind, and level 4 fireball. He's like Knuckles, except he's not the slowest thing ever created. His kit may not be overly unique, plenty of characters have fireballs and explosive minds, but it doesn't make him less of a threat. He still does a ton of damage, and don't sleep on having 2 guaranteed fireballs, because they can do a lot. In 3rd place, I put Zeena. Zeena's main draw is she has access to what's probably the most powerful combo in the game, a freezing move and explosive minds available at all times. That alone could be enough to get by, especially with her good stats and Electro Boost to back it up, but Blizzard Bomb is also very wonky and hits you when you least expect it. The only real issue is that Blizzard Bomb doesn't really travel that far, but even there, you can keep up your opponents either by using Electro Boost or just continually using it. In 2nd place, I put Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic is probably the most versatile character in the game due to Steel, which as mentioned earlier, enables a lot of combos that only Metal Sonic can pull off. You can steal a trap to enable double traps, you can put a Storm Cloud over explosive mines to make jumping or sliding not an option, and so on and so forth. In general, the threat of explosive mines makes Steel that much more threatening. Even if you don't get anything useful, Steel makes people less likely to get shields, and that makes them more likely to get hit by E-mines. Combined with a good boost, Metal Sonic is easily one of the best characters in the game. And in 1st place, I put Chaos. Chaos is the anti-Metal Sonic, having a simple attack in Ice Wave, but one that is so powerful that it alone can get by. Having a Chaos behind you is terrifying, and Ice Wave leaves you vulnerable for so long, is so easy to get hit by, and drains rings very quickly, plus nabs him off of destroying badness. As thus, due to this and high stats, Chaos might be the best sandbagging character in the game despite having an average boost. Even Ice Mines are decent on him due to combo potential and added freezing pressure. It was a tough choice between him and Metal Sonic, but I do find Chaos a little bit more reliable overall, so he takes the top spot. Thank you for watching the video, everyone. If you think this marks the end of commentaries, it doesn't, as there have been some new characters introduced and opinions are always subject to change. In fact, I have a lot of changes to my old special video. As always, feel free to comment below on what your personal rankings are and what you think of my selections. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content. I'll see you all next time.